And we welcome you to the Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia. We're here Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. As Davenport gets ready for football game number 3. They are 2-0 after Saturday's impressive win at home against Northern Michigan, 31-21. Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Berkey, alongside with the head coach, Sparky McEwen, as we will talk about what's going on in Davenport football. Not only last week, but also later on in the show. We'll look ahead to this week's opponent. 2 o'clock at home. Northwood comes in. It is homecoming at Davenport. That's why it's a 2 o'clock game, so make your plans to come out, be on the campus all day, enjoy the homecoming festivities, and then get to it. And then get to the ball game and enjoy a wonderful day at Myring Field and hopefully another Panther victory. Coach, a satisfying win for you. Wasn't perfectly clean, but you made enough good plays overall to get the W.
We did. It was a tale of two teams that, this early in the season, that went out and made some errors on both sides of the ball, and we just happened to capitalize on a few more of theirs than they did on ours. And both teams played hard, as expected. I talked to Kyle after the game, and we know coming in that what type of effort we're going to get from our young men. And it's just that you're so young in this season, and there's mistakes that are being made that as coaches, we know they're not perfect. They're student athletes that got a lot going on, and you want to clean those things up as you get deeper into the season. And next time we play them, it's going to be for conference. So that's going to be significant, in moving forward. But on the other hand, it was a big win for us. It was a big win for us, and going against a lot of tradition and history, and being able to come away with the win at home, that was important for us.
There are a number of big plays, but none bigger than this one right here.
Northern Michigan down 7. Midway through this second half, Drake Davis to pass in the pocket. Good protection, fires it in the flat. And it's picked off! Back the other way, Davenport! 30, 20, 10, 5. Shaq Floyd, touchdown Davenport! A pick 6 for the Shackman.
That was, there were a lot of peak plays in the game, but I'd say none bigger than that, Coach.
No, you hit the nail right on the head. That particular play, I felt like the momentum was starting to shift. Okay, I thought that, Northern had just gotten a stop, and they were moving the ball, and they were doing some good things, and that pick 6, it was timely. We needed that, and Shaq, he's been doing that, for us. He's one of the better corners, defensive backs in this conference, and for him to come through and make a big play like that, man, it was time for that, and it was time that we had something like that happen in our favor.
Well, one of the things that was big in this game is we've talked a little bit about it last week. 42 yards rushing wasn't. That's what you got in game 1, and that's not gonna be enough for you overall. But you ran for 181 yards, and none bigger than Khalif Jenkins in more ways than one. 104 yards on the ground, a career high, 2 touchdowns, and just a terrific rushing game, not only by Khalif but the men blocking up front for him.
I thought in the run game, we talked about it, for 2 weeks after playing a really tough, Truman stingy defense, and we knew we were going to get a similar style of physical play up front against Northern. Now, Northern was missing. They were without a couple of their defensive linemen up front, and, we felt like it was time that we tried to establish a run. And we stayed at it, it was tough, and then we were able to break a couple. And, obviously, the 181, I think a lot of those came in the latter part of the game where it was trying to run out the clock to move on. But they were all tough, hard-fought yards. And Khalif, he's a big man. He'll tell you he's 255. But I guarantee he goes about 260, and he's what a treat! What a treat he's been, and he's a captain, and he carried us.
Yeah, again, we call him the Beef for that reason. But I tell you what, he showed it again. When he gets a little space, he's got some speed also.
Yeah, Khalif can run. We like to kid him. but Khalif's an athlete. He's an athlete, and he's a powerful young guy, and he's very serious about the game. He has a passion for football, and at that time, he knew we needed to run that clock down, and by giving it to him, I thought he did a tremendous job, just as well as our other two running backs. It was nice to see the three-headed monster.
Keyshawn had over 50 yards on the ground as well.
Yeah, I have to bring this up to you, Rick. It was last year in that game where he suffered that season-ending injury.
That's right.
So he ran hard. He ran with a purpose, and I couldn't be more proud of we call them the stable. I couldn't be more proud of those guys. They've done a tremendous job for us the last couple of years, and we're going to need to see that kind of effort, next week.
Look at the stats. Total yards and time of possession really very, very even. Each team had 2 turnovers, but one stat that I know you've talked about before, you were especially proud of: third down conversions, 8 out of 12.
Yeah, when you're 8 out of 12, you're extending the chains, and you're keeping that time of possession. You really have the ability to dig deeper into that playbook, and depending on, like I said, Northern had a couple of their defensive linemen out, and they run a rotation that's similar to ours up front. When you're digging deep, it's kind of taxing on your first group. So hats off to those guys. They played hard. The offensive line. I felt like coming off of week 1. They needed to have an effort, where they physically could, match up with the other group and just go toe for toe. And I thought they did that, and the boys talked after the game how physical Northern was. And they said, Coach, you're right. And I said, told you. I said, guess what? The bad news is we got to see them again in a few weeks, and it's going to be, for the GLIAC. So GLIAC play. So I'm happy. I'm happy for this group because they're working hard.
You guys laid some wood as well. Jalen Robinson, team high 9 tackles, and Elise Ambase and Peyton Mitchell had 6 apiece. So the defense stepped up. Timely defense, I thought.
Yeah, J-Rob is who he is. He's steady. He's always been steady for us. He had over 100 tackles last year. He'll be back on that pace again. Getting, Elise back is hard, big for us. He had a significant injury.
I was going to say, is he 100% yet?
He's, yeah. Anytime we put him on the field, we like to say we're 100, but, they're not going to tell me anything differently. But we had him on the pitch count week 1. We wanted to make sure, that we're getting him back to full speed. And on film, man, he had a pretty good game for us, So knowing that he's back, and then, we had Peyton, he had a pretty good game as well. So number of guys with a number of tackles. It was a great team effort, I thought.
All right, Coach, we're going to have you back a little bit later on to talk about this week's opponent. Northwoods Timberwolves come to here for homecoming, 2 o'clock at Davenport. Be a part of that. Get out there, enjoy the excitement. Coach, we got a special guest coming up, so thanks for joining. Go have some good Uccello food.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break and come back with more of the Davenport Coaches Show live here on the Davenport Athletics Network and their social media outlets.
West Michigan home buyers, if you're considering lenders, please contact Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. It's a wonderful time to be in the market for a mortgage when you choose Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. Van Dyke's loan experts know how to help you prepare and help you get approved. Don't wait for the market to be perfect. Start your planning with Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore.
Mario Flores, NMLS number 135862. Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp. NMLS number 3035. 231-638-0200. MarioFlores.VanDykeMortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
And we are back on the Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia. And we've got our first special guest tonight, Paige Eli, the women's soccer coach, coming off a really big weekend. Coach, we welcome you here. Off to a pretty good start, your squad is this year. But a big weekend, 2 wins, not only 2 wins, but 2 conference wins.
2018, so it was massive for us. And I think we knew going into that weekend it was going to be a tough weekend, and we talked about it leading up to the weekend. The girls did fantastic, executed the game plan, and got the job done.
I thought I need you to educate me, Coach, because I thought I had heard that the GLIAC was not going to have ties this year. I thought that what happened?
No, they took ties, or they took overtime out. So what happens now is after 90 minutes of the game, if it's 0-0, score stands, or if it's 1-1, score stands. So no overtime, no golden goal. So ties are in play now.
Okay, so you play some extra time. But then if it's still tied, it's a tie, or you don't even play no extra time at all, no golden goal.
No extra time.
Okay, all right. Well, you can tell again we've had her on before, but tell us about that accent in your hometown, where you're a long way from home, Paige.
I am, yeah, from a place in England called Huddersfield. And
it's a wonderful country, and your hearts go out, I know, to your country, your fellow countrymen and women back home. A rough week with the passing of the Queen.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Sad time. Not going to have a Queen for a very long time now. It's going to be King, so I think adjustment for the country for sure.
Back to your time here with Davenport. You were assistant coach, 4-year coach, an outstanding playing career as you got to regular season and conference tournament titles and even made the national tournament. You want to implement those same goals now as Division II, club, right?
Absolutely. I think going into it, I know it was going to be a tough job and something that we had to work. And I think that the nice thing for our program is we've got two of our alumni, Natalie McEwen and Lizzie Hornack, that both played in the program. So it's trying to give the players what we had and more, and trying to implement some of the things that were successful when we played into the program that we've got now.
Let's spotlight a couple players. I apologize if I don't get their names right, but junior Ada Hallahan, 2 goals and assist for you already.
Yeah, it was huge. It is a player that's a little quieter as well, just in general. So for her to get 2 goals, when you say she's quiet, do
you mean as a player or as a person she's quiet?
Both.
She's both.
Yeah, but the 2 goals, we celebrated those 2 goals in the right place at the right time and beautifully headed both goals in.
What's Ada's biggest strengths as a player?
Biggest strengths? Honestly, I'd say like when she's in the game and she's stuck in defensively, Ada can tackle strong and hard, for sure.
Good. She can put it in the net as well. But,
yeah, absolutely.
Now, another young lady we want to mention, a freshman from right here in Grand Rapids, Satali Luna. She's got 2 goals already for you.
Yeah, Sitlali is a fantastic little player. So much creativity. I think a lot of it comes from her love for the game and her futsal background as well. We were so fortunate to get Sitlali to come to Davenport.
I mean, right in your backyard here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you've got a wide recruiting net, as you mentioned. You've got people from other countries. And
absolutely,
that.
Yeah.
And last year, if I remember correctly, you like to blend them. Both the outside the area and still get some good players from around the West Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to have some diversity on the team. I think everybody learns from something and from somebody else's different background. Sitlali was, again, somebody in our backyard we were able to get, and man, what a player she is, and she's got a lot more to come over the next 3 years.
All right, so you've got the momentum coming from the 2 conference wins back-to-back like that. Where do you go from here? Give us an area, Coach, that your team still has to get better at.
We're still right now trying to work on our attacking transition game. Defensively, the girls have been fantastic. We're trying to implement a style of play that sticks with us now, regardless what formation we play. So we're working on our attacking transition, trying to get more goals in the back of the net. And that's what we're working on. And we've got a massive weekend this weekend. So that's our focus for right now.
Tell us this weekend about what you've got coming up, a big weekend for your team.
Yeah, we have both of the UP schools coming down to play us. So we've got Michigan Tech on Friday at 4 p.m. and then we play Northern Michigan on Sunday at noon. So right now, very tough teams to play against. We're looking at Michigan Tech first. That's our first game. That's where our focus is. So we're going to go into Friday, try to get the win, and then we'll touch on Northern Michigan after the game.
Well, you've got homecoming weekend, so hopefully the folks will be around for the weekend and enjoy your teams. Great start for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Keep working hard. A great weekend last week. Again, the women's soccer team home this Friday and Sunday, so catch them out in there. We want to thank Paige Eli for stopping by and joining us, the women's soccer head coach, and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break, come back with another special guest. Stay with us here on the Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia.
Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore's commitment to finding the right home loan for you is second to none. The experienced licensed team at Van Dyke on the Lakeshore will work hard to give you a smooth and timely mortgage process from application to closing. Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore, has access to a full range of mortgage products so that you get the right loan with a great rate, the terms you're looking for, and costs to meet your unique needs. Call Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 today and experience the Van Dyke Mortgage difference.
Mario Flores, NMLS 135862, Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp NMLS 3035, 231-638-0200, marioflores.vandykemortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
And we're back once again, the Davenport Coaches Show live from Uccello's in Caledonia, and a special guest who provided us a special thrill on Saturday in the big win over Northwood. Let's go back and enjoy it.
Khalif Jenkins back in there. They'll give it to the Beef. Beef plowed to the 7, to the 6, to the 5, to the 3, to the 1. Touchdown, Davenport! Khalif Jenkins took the entire defense into the end zone with him, and Davenport takes its first lead of the game.
He really didn't look all that fast there, Rick. He also didn't look like he was ever going to stop. It's like watching freight trains when they take off. Real slow, just kept pumping and pumping. Just outside the left guard, into the end zone he goes.
And we welcome redshirt junior Khalif Jenkins to the program right now. Khalif, that was a big thrill. Your career high, 104 yards. You got into the end zone twice. Was that your best game as a Panther?
Yeah, that was my best game here so far.
Your blockers, of course, did a good job. Tell us about how they helped you get into the end zone twice and get all those yards.
Well, all week they've been preparing to have a great game blocking, so they got the hard part, and I just finished it for them.
Well, you did more than finish it. Again, like we said, you took a half dozen guys with you into that end zone for that second touchdown. That was certainly a big game. But we talked with Coach last week. Just 42 yards on the ground in the opener. You got the win. And that's good. That's the most important part. However, you were only 42 yards. You knew you had to do more as a team, and this week you certainly did that, getting up over 180 as a squad.
Yeah.
How do you guys help each other, your running backs?
Preparing throughout the week, we just pay attention to whatever the coaches draw up, and we go out there and execute it.
All right. Again, what's the mindset of the team right now as you get ready for Northwood this Saturday after getting 2 wins?
We know that Northwood is a good program, so we're just ready to compete and make a statement. Everybody is ready to go. Everybody's locked in, just ready to bring it home.
Coach talked about a little earlier before you were on about the three-headed monster, with Jair and Keyshawn and yourself. How do you guys see the running back room as a group?
Everybody's unselfish in the room. Everybody want to see each other succeed. So that's the standard for our whole room. Everybody want to see everybody compete, and we all there for each other. We're a brotherhood.
Khalif, what were the team goals going into this year for this squad, or weren't there any?
We just wanted to be better than last year. We just wanted to have a great season and go out there and compete and have fun.
Well, you're certainly having fun so far with 2 wins. Again, Northwood comes up this way. Where do you still have to get better as a running back, Khalif?
As a running back, I feel like I have to get better at identifying the defense, knowing when somebody is blitzing and picking up that blitz. So that's what I need to work on.
You came from River Rouge High School,
yes,
a good program there.
Yes, sir.
How did your River Rouge days prepare you for college as a player and as a person?
So my high school, we do a lot of things that like a college will prepare you to do. So the lifting program, the plays, we prepare as a college. So coming into college, I was already kind of new to it. I already knew what was going to happen, So they did a real good job preparing me and my other teammates from high school. So
What about your coach in high school?
Coach Corey Parker, he's like a second dad to me. I love him. I love him with all my heart. He's always there for me when I needed advice. He called me after the game. He said, "Good game. That's what I told you to do." So,
Good. You're a sport management major. What would you like to do with that down the road, Khalif?
Most likely be an athletic director or coach. That's what I'm aiming to go into after college.
If you coach, would you like to coach at the high school level or at the college level?
Whoever want me, whoever want to take me, I'm there for it. So yeah.
Would you maybe like to go back on the east side and coach?
Yeah, if it's an opportunity there for me, I would love to.
All right. Well, Khalif, what's the team keys this week against Northwood at home?
Knowing that they're a good team, they're a good program, we ready to compete. We just know that we got to go out there and have fun and bring it home.
All right, let's bring it home, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, 2 o'clock this Saturday. We'll take one more break, and we'll come back and talk with Sparky McEwen about the opponent, specifically the Northwood T-Wolves, this Saturday on homecoming.
West Michigan homebuyers, if you're considering lenders, please contact Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. It's a wonderful time to be in the market for a mortgage when you choose Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. Van Dyke's loan experts know how to help you prepare and help you get approved. Don't wait for the market to be perfect. Start your planning with Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore.
Mario Flores, NMLS number 135862. Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp. NMLS number 3035. 231-638-0200. MarioFlores.VanDykeMortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
And our final segment of the Davenport Coach Show coming to you live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Do such a great job taking care of us, especially Brittany, our favorite waitress here. We've got a lot of them, but none better than her who takes such great care of us. Sparky McEwen joins us right now to preview this week's homecoming opponent. The Northwood Timberwolves come in, 2 o'clock game. T-Wolves off to a 2-1 start. They got 2 wins. Before falling, they beat Kentucky Wesleyan 55-13. Big win there, then overwhelmed Madonna 38-0 before falling last Saturday at home to Saginaw Valley 35-14. What's your overall assessment right now as you look at the Northwood tape?
It's a good football team. In my estimation, that this is Leonard's best football team that he's had. Okay, they have the ability now to, it seems like he's settled in a quarterback, and I know in the past, like ourselves, that we've had struggles, with a field general. He's got that guy, that settles them down. He's got a couple people
That's
there.
Nate Gomez, by the way.
Yeah. And, but, more importantly, he's surrounding him with weapons, so they're doing a solid job of, keeping you honest on the back end. They've got a couple, receivers with NFL grades, so that, that's scary, going into that. They've got a guy on the perimeter with tremendous size and good speed, and, they got a couple guys in the slots, that are pretty good. They've got a young man that I recruited at running back that, I'm pretty sure that he's going to, get that thing going shortly. And like I said, having that field general solid, they've got a good group of linemen. They max protect. And, anytime you max protect, you can get the ball downfield with those type of NFL caliber receivers. You got a chance. And then on defense, they've always been stingy. Obviously being an GLIAC opponent, we're very familiar. We're very familiar with each other. And I think if you go in and you look at all of our scores between Northern Michigan and Northwood, it's always, down to a final play, final drive, or something like that. Always a one-score game. So we know what we're up against, and, it's going to be similar to what we just faced this past weekend. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be physical. They just came off a very, very tremendous, football team in Saginaw, and, it was 35-14, but they moved the ball. They moved the ball, and they had some mistakes that hurt them, so I'm pretty sure they're going to polish up on those things and give themselves a chance to win against us. We're just going to have to take care of the football.
Coach Haynes has changed, you alluded a little bit to it, changed that offensive approach because he had that unusual offense before that really the quarterback's primary role was to run the football, not so much anymore with Nate Gomez. He's already thrown for almost 600 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job, and I think on the offseason, Leonard knew that in order to keep up with, teams in the GMAC and, you got teams over there in Findlay and Tiffin that, that are wide open. And I think that, schematically he wanted to do some things there to keep up with those type of offenses. And he's done a good job. He's done a really good job. And I think it's going to be, another war for us. One of those games where, I told you last week we're going to have to do a better job of taking care of the football. And we did for the most part until we had that costly turnover near, the half. So we got to continue to improve in that department and continue to improve in the penalties, and I think we'll be okay.
There's one stat, looking at the Northwood stats, that jumps out at me, Coach, that you don't see too often. I know we're 3 games in for them at least, but they're averaging 18 yards per punt return. That's a pretty impressive number after 3 games.
Northwood has always been arguably the number 1 special teams group in our conference. Grand Valley and Northwood has tremendous, special teams. And you got to be prepared. You got to be on your P's and Q's in the entire way because these teams, if you take a break on special teams, Rick, it'll cost you. 18 yards per average is unheard of. Okay, and they've got some electricity on that team now. So once again, we know that we got our work cut out. But at the same time, our kids are playing hard, and I think that if they take care of the ball, limit the penalties, they'll give us a chance in the end.
All right, you've already alluded a couple times, but give us 3 keys to Saturday's game against Northwood from the Davenport perspective.
Number 1, we got to be complete. And, Rick, you've been there, for our 2 ball games, and we're just not, for an entire game vibing together. Defense does a, yin and yang. Defense does a good job. Offense will be down a little bit. Offense does a good job. Defense will go down a little bit. Special teams is, up, and then somewhere else goes. We've got to have a complete game. And I know it's early in the season. You don't want to peak too soon, but at the same time, I just really feel like we're making yet too many young mistakes. Offensively, we pretty much return everybody but 2 seniors. On defense, we lose a number of kids, but we're still relatively young in a lot of key areas.
Yeah, and one of those areas is penalties, obviously.
Yes.
And I know you've spent time talking with the guys about that.
Yes. It's something that early in the season that all staffs, it becomes an Achilles heel. And with us, when we watch the film, it's effort. It's effort penalties, and it's where our guys are flying around, and I could appreciate that, but I tell my guys it's time to grow up, okay? Act like you've been there before, okay? Know when it's over, things like that, and, just to have a good football IQ about yourself, So we're getting better. I'm proud of them. They're working hard, and it's a different feel around our place. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not. It's a different feel around our place, and the guys are excited about playing ball. They're excited about getting after it, and they just can't wait to play. And I like that in my football team. And
it's a slight different too in that it's a 2:00 game. I don't know that we've had a 2:00 start in our Davenport days here.
It's I tell everyone, homecoming, I have nothing to do with that. Okay, that's ahead of above my pay grade, and my job is to train the football team, get them ready to play. We welcome all of our alumni back. We're just part of the festivities, okay? Unfortunately, and this, Rick, we're creatures of habits, coaches and football players, and we're breaking our habit of playing at noon. We like playing at that time, but we're also team players, and if the university wants to play at 2, we'll be there.
Well, hopefully we'll be playing it 2 and celebrating a victory about 5 o'clock to go to 3-0 on the season. Again, get out there and watch the Panthers and the Timberwolves this Saturday, 2 o'clock after the homecoming festivities across the Davenport campus. That'll wrap it up here today from the